I want all the women in here to hear this. You hear what she just said, right? You had your guards up because of your past things, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why men like younger women because they don't have those experiences, those trauma ass decisions that you done been through your whole life that's keeping your guard up from me. This is why we date younger women.
We established
Hold on.
this.
Number two,
I just think
this
they
is
prettier.
why it's important to marry while you are young. You guys are supposed to marry young and grow old together. You don't supposed to come with these fucking traumas from your past, traumas from our past, all this shit. But in our culture, it becomes the norm. And we try to find a way to cope with it and call it regular life. This is not regular life. The way we grew up is not regular life. And somehow we find a way to make an excuse for this shit. We're not supposed to have all these goddamn kids by all these different women. We're not supposed to be running around this motherfucker fucking hoes and doing all this shit and women dressing like hoes and acting like niggas. Everybody is out of nature. Everybody. Both sides are fucked up. So now you have all these people coming in with they bullshit, and we trying to match with each other and see who bullshit outweighs or underweighs each other. This is why we all are single. Because all us got shit going on. Anything a motherfucker do is a trigger to us now. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't been with that many partners or been around these many situations that everything a motherfucker knew do, you didn't saw it before. So at what point can you open up if you saw everything? Think about this. What point can you open up if you, oh, I remember my ex nigga did that, or my ex bitch did this, or he did that, and she did this, and it's looking familiar. So these is why these gods is coming up because we have too many partners and too much experience. We're not supposed to be like this, bro. We supposed to meet our wives in high school, stay with her to college, marry her, and be with her for the rest of our lives and learn. This is how it's supposed to be. Is it like that? No, that's not the norm in our culture because we grew up without daddies, grew up in the hood, grew up with pimps and hoes, with gangsters and all this extra shit, drug selling. We didn't live normal lives. Our lives are fucked up where we come from. And somehow we try to make sense of it and make excuses for our bullshit. Every person in here that did some dumb shit. And I'll raise my hand and say me first. But I look back and say, damn, I wish I could have started over. Because I'm the person that I always wanted to be now. And it hurts me so bad that I didn't marry the mother of my children. That shit hurt, bro.
I get his point. I get the message that he's trying to push out there. We all know that we grow up in trauma and we normalize it. I don't think we're making excuses if we're doing it involuntarily. But a lot of us are growing up in the same way, so it's hard to differentiate and have somebody bring a healthy perspective in until you move out of your situation and you see how other normalities go about. And you need that culture shock to see that, you know what I was doing wasn't conducive to a healthy relationship. Me being the man that went out there and popped 5 cherries and got 14 baby mamas, 18 kids, that wasn't the way, even though I got stripes from the dudes around the way, like I'm that super Mac. I'm that woman that doesn't take accountability for knowing that this man isn't the best thing for me, but I still want to be with him because he's handsome. He's 6 feet. He's the guy getting all the money on the block. And that's okay. When does your conscience kick in and say, you know what? This is short term. I've seen her do it with 3, 4 other girls. This is just my turn. I think responsibility, when you get to a certain age, you know right from wrong, cognitive dissonance. I salute the brother for stepping out there and putting himself out first while he was giving the message. You find a lot of people, they're at the podium pounding, and they don't look in the mirror and say, you know what? I also eat my own cooking. So I'm going to push this message because we need to get right. And we need more voices like that. Shout out to King Talk. voices in action.
Truth is, a lot of dudes who are like 45, 50 years old who refuse to date women their age, they don't do so because they prefer young women and how they look. Because let's be real, it's a lot of 40-something-year-old women that'll give these 20-something-year-old girls a run for their money. But it's because of the mental aspect. Like, as a guy gets older, one who wants to play games, by the way, who's like 40-something, 50 years old, he remembers it being easier to play those games whenever he was like 20. Because women in that age group, they're more on hope than they are experience. But experience is the best teacher. So as he gets older, he's trying to date women his age. They're like, no. I've seen your kind before. Like, I've lived the proof that you're here to waste my time. And I ain't going. So now he gonna go out here talking about how he prefers younger women because older women his age are full of baggage and they're bitter. And it's like, nah, they ain't full of baggage and bitter. They have a BS detector, so they're harder to manipulate. And manipulative men don't like that.
I think that it's important. I think that it is important to hear men, especially older men, say exactly what he said, to where he wished he would have married his baby mama. I think that often we would hear the opposite. But again, that'll go back to knowingly and willingly placing yourself in a position to where you would even get this woman pregnant in the first place, to where you wouldn't see yourself being with her forever. So, but I think that it is important for young men to hear older men absolutely saying, man, I wish I would have done what one would consider is the right thing.
When I was younger, right, if a girl told me she was a virgin, I knew I wasn't trying to take her seriously. I wouldn't have messed with her. I would have, you know what I'm saying? It had to be somebody that already was actively out here. Like, I wasn't trying to go find women and corrupt them. These women was already corrupted for the most part. But I get your point. I definitely get your point.
Well, yeah, but somebody corrupted them though. I think that you, Marcus, as you know, not everybody understands the game. So it's gonna be some niggas that's out there that'll literally prey on that chick just because he knows that she's a virgin. You know, that goes back to the value thing where now even just being able to say, oh man, I got five, I popped 5 cherries, you know what I'm saying, type of deal. Like, that's a bragging point to some guys that abuse the game.
All right. Anybody else on that? All right. Harrison Davis says salute, $5. Appreciate you, sir. I do want to run that video back just one more time, man, just to see if anything else y'all want to pull up out of there. I know sometimes we miss it. Yeah, I like what the brother said too, man. I think he spit some real, and I think that message can apply for some folks. I still think it's all about balance. I mean, if you can get it early and you got some experience, then I think it's easier for you to make that decision. But some people don't come into their shell until they get a little bit older. And that's kind of like unfortunate. But I'm hoping that as we raise our children, or either speak to the youth, speak to the young folks, that we try to raise them up properly, try to get them the game early, try to put them in situations, and even when they're going through situations, being able to point out things, and then by following up, making sure that they understand what it is that we discuss. And a lot of times we just be talking and we're not even checking in to see if they understand the message. And so they just live in life. They're just saying, okay, because they really don't even want to hear the message. But you got to challenge them at a young age to not just be saying, yes, okay, do you understand? Yeah, I understand. Okay, what is it you understand? I understand what you said. What did I say? And don't go down their throat. It's just because some people, it's hard for people to listen. And we coming into an age where they're putting out short content because they understand people's attention span. It's like they're programming people to be able to pay attention less. And then you got some people that go against the grain and they still reading the books. They're looking at long form content. They are actually looking at that short or that reel and seeing where it actually came from so they can hear how the conversation unfolded. And I think that's what we need to be really instilling in our kids, in our children, family, friends. Because I mean, you got to take care of your family too. And we talking about the Black families in crisis. Just think about how a lot of people go their own separate ways. We're starting to have less and less like Black family reunions. A lot of folks are not even getting up on the holidays. They're not having the barbecues no more. Everybody just doing them, and we dying off. And said, "Damn, you know, I haven't seen them. I had just talked about them instead of like I've just seen them." So when we talk about the Black family crisis, I really think that we have to understand it's going to be up to us to carry on these traditions and to keep the family united and to make the change. And a lot of times that change might be too late for us, and you might have the few ones that made it out okay, like the Laws and the Trills and the Trevs and everybody else that started young. But we got to make sure that the people that's coming up behind us, whether it be the family or whether it be friends or people that just look up to us, we got to make sure that we are in a position to try to get them right so that we can leave the earth and the world in a better place. Because I think that's the goal right now.